Welcome to AI Pulse. Today, we're going to talk about the news that isn't just shaping our future, it's literally building it right in front of our eyes.
So, let's just jump right in with the big question of the day. And yeah, the answer seems to be a pretty shocking yes. So, on February 20th, Google dropped its new flagship model, Gemini 3.1 Pro. And honestly, it's already showing off a crazy leap in what it can do.
Okay, just look at this. This comparison pretty much says it all, right? The last version's attempt, well, it's abstract, kind of messed up. But now, Gemini 3.1 Pro doesn't just draw a pelican on a bike, it gets it. It understands the physics, the structure, common sense. This isn't just a small step up, it's a huge leap in how these things can reason.
And believe me, it's not just about making funny pictures. Developers are now using this thing to build actual, complex, interactive apps from just a few words. I mean, think about it. A fully functional Windows 11, but on the web. A 3D game like Minecraft. Heck, even a website that captures the vibe of a novel like Wuthering Heights. We're not just making articles or images anymore. We're creating whole, working systems. And if you're a numbers person, don't worry, the benchmarks are here to back it up. Gemini 3.1 Pro is just dominating. It's consistently beating its biggest rivals, GPT 5.2 and Claude Opus 4.6, across like a dozen different tests. And on the really tough ones, the ones that test actual reasoning, it's not just winning by a little. It's completely rewriting the rulebook on what we thought these models could do. I love this quote from one of the developers, Shunyu Yao. He says, "Better Gemini models are emerging at an irresistible pace." Irresistible pace. That's not just corporate talk, right? That really captures the feeling, the sense that the technology is just charging forward week after week. It really does feel unstoppable. All right, but here's the thing. Models this powerful, they don't just magically appear out of thin air, right? They need a ton of physical hardware and, you guessed it, money. So the race to be the king of AI, it's turning into a race for who can build the biggest, baddest infrastructure. And if you want to understand the scale we're talking about, just follow the money. OpenAI is about to close a deal that could value them at, wait for it, $850 billion. That's just an insane amount of investment and expectation riding on this tech. And you can see this happening all over the world. OpenAI is locking down huge data centers in India. Meta and NVIDIA are teaming up to build their own massive centers, stuffing them with millions of the newest GPUs. So yeah, the game has changed. It's not just about having the smartest code anymore. It's about who owns the most raw computing power.
Okay, so while all that commercial stuff is going wild, the basic science is taking huge leaps too. In fact, a breakthrough this week is pointing us toward a completely new way of computing altogether.
For years, scientists have been hunting for these things called Majorana qubits. They're kind of like special quantum bits that are naturally protected from errors. Why? Because the information they hold is spread out across two different places at once, which makes them super stable.
There's a great analogy from a researcher, Ramon Aguado, who called them safe boxes for quantum information. Perfect, right? If you can build a computer with these, it would be way more reliable. But there's always a but. The big problem has always been, how do you get the information out of that super secure safe box?
Well, that's the breakthrough. A team has finally figured out how to reliably read the info stored inside these safe boxes. This is huge. It's a major, major step towards building the kind of stable, powerful quantum computers we've all been dreaming about.
But you know how it goes. With every incredible leap forward, there's always a dark side, a new way for things to go wrong. And of course, the bad guys are already figuring out how to use these powerful tools for themselves. So security researchers found this thing called Prompt Spy. It's the first Android malware that actually uses Gemini's intelligence against you. It's so clever. Instead of having to be programmed for every single phone, it just takes a screenshot, sends it to Gemini, and basically asks, hey, where do I need to tap to make sure this app can't be closed? Because the AI can understand any screen, the malware becomes way more flexible and way more dangerous.
So you've got this insane power, unbelievable amounts of money, and brand new risks, all hitting at the same time. And what happens? Well, it's forcing a big conversation on the world stage. Countries are basically having to pick a side in what's looking more and more like a new kind of global arms race. Just recently, at the India AI Impact Summit, the US basically announced a new foreign policy idea. It's all centered around something they call AI sovereignty. And the idea is pretty interesting. They're saying real power isn't about having to build everything from scratch yourself, but it's about making sure you have control over the best tech out there.
So what's the plan? The strategy is basically to export the whole American AI stack. We're talking hardware, software, the models, everything, to friendly countries. It's about creating this big tech alliance. And, at the same time, they're pushing back hard against the idea of some global group controlling AI. They're framing it as a choice. You can partner with us and stay independent, or you can get tied up in bureaucracy.
And all of this, it just leaves us to the massive question for the future, doesn't it? I mean, we started with an AI that can build an entire operating system, and we ended with new global strategies being built around it. The tech is moving way, way faster than anyone can keep up with. So the real question, the most important one of all, is who gets to write the rules for what comes next?